The north end of the Strip is finally getting some love. The most expensive resort ever built in Las Vegas makes its home right here and celebrates its 5th birthday this year. We're going to take a spin through Resorts World, see what's new and what endures, and then we're heading underground for our first ever trip on the Vegas Loop.
The Vegas Loop. You guys, no matter how long we live here, there's always something exciting and new to do in Las Vegas.
So get ready, because this adventure starts right now.
I remember not too long ago when you headed north between Encore and the Sahara, there was precious little to see. Nowadays, this neglected area of the Strip is home to a couple of colorful giants. We're going to stop in at Resorts World today for a look-see. And right away, we note that the parking situation has changed. The garage is now run by Metropolis, the same folks who do the downtown lots and Area 15. It's all done via your phone, but luckily, locals are free. Resorts World is owned and operated by the Genting Group out of Malaysia and topped out at a cost of $4.3 billion. It opened in June of 2021. This is a new addition, a couple of walk-ups on the plaza out front right along the boulevard. Also in front are two different entrances to the resort's huge dining, shopping, entertainment area, simply called the District. We'll check that out very shortly. But first, we like to get the lay of the land. Next door is the venerable Circus. And just diagonal up the road is the new Fontainebleau. Speaking of venerable, directly across the street is the iconic Pepper Mill, busy serving breakfast this morning and, of course, every morning. Between Fontainebleau and Pepper Mill, the new west expansion of the Las Vegas Convention Center. There are lots of business types staying here, and no wonder. The convention center itself is right down this street. We also have to note that the smells coming out of Tacos El Gordo, even from over here, are absolutely mouth-watering. Now, who of you have ever tried it? All right, enough sightseeing. Let's go in via the South Porte Cochere. It's Chinese New Year, and we were hoping to maybe see some celebration in here, but so far, we haven't found anything. Resorts World Casino has that modern aesthetic with bright lighting and striking architectural details. We really like this casino. It's 117,000 square feet with 1,400 slots spaced well apart in a pleasing layout. Resorts World was the first to offer cashless wagering with their mobile wallet concept. In the center is a really pretty bar with a unique, let's call it light fixture right above it. Ranged around that bar are the table games, 117 of them at last count, all typical favorites. And everywhere we go now, we are finding a selection of electronic table games as well. Genting Rewards is their loyalty program, and there are a number of perks being advertised for those who join. The sportsbook is interwoven with this classic Nashville sports bar called the Doghouse. In here is Southern Spiced Bar Grub. Big screens to watch the game. Bars and gaming. and a more traditional sportsbook experience at the far end. As we make our way north through the casino, we eventually reach the district, what the owners describe as a luxury retail center. More on that later, but first, say hi to the globe, that 50-foot diameter sphere that predates the actual sphere by a few years. The globe is constructed of 8,640 triangular LED panels, resulting in a 20 million pixel display surface. Around the bend from the shiny globe is an area called the Complex. This is where travelers access the Vegas Loop.
Well, hello and good morning, friends. I am up for an adventure today at Resorts World. I've never been on the Vegas Loop. I bet you haven't either. How about we take a ride over to the convention center? First thing you need to be aware of is it doesn't necessarily run all the time if there's nothing happening at the convention center. So I went on the website last night before I arrived just to make sure that it was running today. So of course it's in the bowels of the earth underneath Resorts World. And last time I was here, I don't know that it was quite this busy. Check this out, my friends. This is exciting. Wow. The loop station underneath Resorts World. Let's go get a ticket. Okay, like so many things, it is done based on a QR code. You scan the QR code, you purchase your destination, whether you want a single ride or a round trip. I got a round trip to Center Station at the Convention Center. I'll show you my ticket and receipt, and let's go take a ride on the loop. Okay, so I scanned my ticket, and the helpful ushers here said to come on over here and just wait for my ride. I'm glad they're here because I honestly don't know how to do this.
When your Tesla arrives, you step in as if it were a taxi and almost immediately head up to street level and into the sunshine.
So this is the thing in the front of Resorts World, yes?
That's right.
Yeah, so that you can kind of peek over. Okay. Oh, look at this. Oh my gosh, how amazing. Probably like ho-hum to you, you do it all the time, but this is incredible.
My driver was Caesar, and we had a great conversation while we were en route. Note, there are a few intersections and even a stoplight down here. In addition to Resorts World and the Convention Center, there are stations at Encore, the Westgate, and more recently, the airport. And just like that, here we are at Central Station.
Okay, so where are we now?
And this right here is Central Station.
This is Central Station. Oh, this is where I'm going.
That's right.
Oh, awesome.
We're
Okay.
gonna loop back around.
Hi, we're at Las Vegas Convention Center Central Station. So here we are at Central Station. I've seen pictures of this on the website. There's the Las Vegas logo that we're all familiar with, and the World of Concrete is happening here at the Convention Center. There's a lot of manly men here and some ladies as well going to the World of Concrete convention. I think there's also a roofing convention going on here. So busy at the LVCC today.
I learned that this station is the only one on the line that looks like this, all underground. The cars arrive from points west on this side and drop off riders. Then swing around and pick up new passengers on the opposite side. For my return trip, I ended up in Caesar's car yet again. He told me that's the first time that has ever happened. He had already made another round trip. Interestingly, this time we stayed above ground for part of it, driving through the Las Vegas Convention Center West parking lot. This is home to two loop stops, the West Station and the Riviera Station. And then we were back underground, tunneling underneath the Strip, heading towards Resorts World. Caesar was telling me that CES and SEMA are the most exciting and busy times to be driving the loop. All too soon, here we are back at the Resorts World station. Okay, here's a fun tie-in with the convention, a section of concrete used to build the tunnels we were just riding through.
I just got off the loop ride. That made my week. I can't even tell you. I feel like I've been in an amusement park. Oh my gosh, for $7, that was an unbelievable experience. Thank you, Caesar. What a great time on the Vegas Loop.
Now, where were we? Taking a look at the district. This is one of those mixed-use developments Las Vegas is famous for. Dining, shopping, and entertainment all rolled together in a 70,000 square foot, two-level space. On the southern end, a popular Beverly Hills pizzeria, flanked by a life-size statue of Iron Mike Tyson. We have enjoyed their delicious New York-style pizza in earlier visits. From the upper level, you see part of Resorts World's extensive conference space. And of course, where there are meetings, there is always a Starbucks nearby. Further on, you get a nice top-down view of the globe. Believe it or not, under this one roof are more than 40 restaurants and bars, many of them right here in the district. Gatsby's Lounge has always been Paula's favorite, with its menu of vintage champagnes and the appropriate bubbles up top. Now, Copper Sun, a fine dining concept featuring Inner Mongolian cuisine, is new since we were last here. Moving north through the district, this area is like Restaurant Row, with dining and drinking options for every taste and palate. A couple of years ago, during a staycation, we enjoyed a great meal right here at Carver Steak. Down at the far end is another new offering from Michelin-starred chef Jeremy Ford. It's called Stubborn Seed and features a menu of modern American cuisine. Before we leave the district, there's one more thing we want to show you. The marquee sculpture located near the Strip entrance is a tribute to the marquee design of the iconic hotel casino that used to stand here, the Stardust. The Stardust operated from 1958 through 2006 and was demolished in the year 2007. According to the plaque beneath it, this marquee design is an inspirational tribute to the hopes, dreams, and joys of millions and millions of visitors who have enjoyed this part of Las Vegas.
You know what? Seeing all that nostalgia about the Stardust reminded me. In fact, it gave me a cue for a new episode of Dale's Tales. Hey, our very first Dale's Tales. What do you think about that? We did a couple videos ago, but this is going to be the very first one, and it's about the Westward Ho. Why does this place mean so much to me? You know, it was the last place I ever played front of the Strip. And that was actually when I started to retire, although I did do a couple of things like weddings and stuff like that. But this was the last place I played. This was between 2003 and 2005. I worked in there. I started working nights And then they moved me to afternoons. I worked 1 to 6 in the afternoons, unless there was a tournament, a slot tournament. Then I worked 12 to 6, so that was a 6-hour day. That was pretty tough. And also, Paula worked at the Luxor at that time, and she got done with work 1 hour prior to me getting done with my work. So she would leave at the Luxor, come over and see my last set, help me tear down, and then we'd go home together. It was so perfect. I can't tell you how perfect it was. But when I did this, I did 5 shows. I'm going to put a little picture in here. I didn't realize that Paula had actually taken a picture. We don't have too many, but this is not a bad shot of me actually on stage performing. I actually did 5 shows a day. I did 3 shows, and then I repeated 2 shows later on in the day. Weekend afternoons also at the Westward Ho. Every single day they did an ice cream social. And you could come in and get free ice cream and watch me perform at the same time. How can you beat that? It was such a great place. All the people that came in to see us were so nice. In fact, a senior center that was on the east side of town down in Henderson, they would bring them into the lounge 1 time a month, and they would come to have the ice cream social, listen to me, do a little dancing. I got to know these people. They were just... oh, it was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. All right, I got a couple of stories about this. This might be long, so we'll see what happens. There was a fella that came in to see me. Now, listen, I was there a long time, okay? And I did 5 shows a day. This fellow came every single day, every day that I worked there for the entire run that I worked there. His name was Lou. He took a bus from his apartment and came down to the Westward Ho just to sit in the audience and watch me perform. Every single day Lou was in there. Let's see. Oh, also, there was a showgirl down at the Folies Bergère, her and her husband, and he was kind of a big shot in the entertainment industry. They came down to see me because I used to do this Neil Diamond impersonation, and they came just to see me do the Neil Diamond impersonation, and we got to be friends, and I was a part of a group called The Cast. It was members of people that worked on the strip, and we would have get-togethers and stuff like that, and we always sat and talked. It was really kind of nice. I really liked those folks. Also, I remember there was one time I was playing in there. This was so great. All of a sudden, people started screaming. And I mean, they were screaming and just screaming as loud as they could. There was a slot machine right outside of the lounge. It was an Elvis slot machine, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody hit $1 million while I was playing on stage. It was one of the most exciting times I've ever had performing in my life, to see all those people screaming and running, and they're running through the lounge and going, "Did you hear, Dale? Did you hear? Did you hear?" So yeah, I did hear of him. And actually, speaking of Elvis, now they had a fellow that actually was, I don't know what they called him.
I'd say he was a goodwill ambassador.
Yeah, he was a goodwill ambassador. He worked there, and I'm not kidding you, he worked there 7 days a week. And he would do nothing but walk around the casino and just be Elvis. You could take pictures. That's the only time you could take pictures. You could take pictures with Elvis. He would go and greet people when they were at the door. And then on Sundays, when all the rest of the acts weren't working in the lounge, he would go in and do his Elvis show on the lounge. And Michael Kennedy, and he also, my parents came on their 60th anniversary to renew their vows, and he came in and took a picture with my parents. So he was a really nice guy. When the Westward Ho left, he actually moved back to, I think he moved to Tennessee or something like that.
North Carolina. He was going to do home flipping.
Yeah, he was going to be a home flipper. He went from Elvis to being a flipper. So there you go. Here, this is a moving story. Now, Paula can corroborate with this story because she was there. This was on a Saturday afternoon. By the way, not only did she come and help me during the week do that, she came every single Saturday and sat through all 5 shows. Yeah, and I can't, right, Paula?
And set up and tear down.
Set up and tear down. Yep, it was unbelievable. It was just one of those times in our life when it was so special. I can't even tell you how special it was. That's why I'm so excited about telling you about the Westward Ho. Anyway, it was a Saturday. I did the song, Annie's song, John Denver's song. And I got off the stage, and Paula was there. She can say, yeah, it did happen. This fella comes up to me. He's crying his eyes out. I'm gonna get all misty. Anyway, he worked with John Denver.
He was a road manager.
He was a road
for John
manager.
Denver.
Yeah, one of the road managers that worked with John Denver. And he said, I've never heard anybody other than John Denver sing that song as good as you did. And he just was bawling his eyes out. And he gave me a big hug.
He did. Gave you a big hug. I remember.
That was, I'll tell you, that, as you can see, I get all moved. Like I said, Westward Ho meant a lot to me. The other nice thing about playing there, coffee was 5 cents. I'm not kidding you. Coffee was 5 cents. I could get a regular hot dog for 99 cents, but they had these things called mega dogs that were like, and they weren't just a foot long, they were mega dogs. They were like that big, and they were only $1.49. People would come in droves just to get these hot dogs. And also, they had a massive strawberry shortcake that was also $1.49. So the food was a big draw for people, and of course, as was I. I drew in a lot of local folks there. Okay, my friends, anyway, that's my story about the Westward Ho. The reason I left the Westward Ho, that's for another Dale's Tales.
We've seen the dining options in the district, but you don't have to go nearly that far if you're hungry, especially if it's breakfast time. Right here off the casino floor is Suns Out, Buns Out, offering eggs and more eggs all day, every day. The theming in here is adorable, and as you can see, there are more than eggs to choose from. This is the first ever pop-up window for Randy's Donuts, an LA legend that has been serving donuts since 1952. And good news, it's open 24/7.
Woo! It's been a busy morning and my legs are tired. I needed a snack and a break. I needed to sit down is really what I needed. So I stopped at Randy's. I got myself a nice cup of English breakfast tea, Harney & Sons, my favorite, and a nice maple donut. Doesn't that look good? Don't promise I'm going to eat the whole thing, but I need a little bit of a sugar rush right now before I continue and finish up Resorts World. All right, let's have a munch. What do you say? I love maple. The frosting breaks a little bit when you bite into it. Really nice donut. I know Randy's is very famous. That is a really nice donut. Great flavor. It's not a Krispy Kreme, it's more hearty than that. I like it. I'm gonna have a sip of tea. This is gonna be really welcome. Oh, well, that goes down good. So $10 for a donut and a cup of tea. I'm just gonna sit here and chill for a few minutes, and then we will wrap things up here at Resorts World.
Now, if a sit-down breakfast or any meal honestly is your craving, Junior's is across the hall. We sampled breakfast here and it got a big thumbs up. Plus, this renowned New York diner is also home to what's been lauded as the world's best cheesecake by none other than the cabbies who drive you there. But there's no doubt that the most well-known place to grab a meal inside Resorts World is their unique food hall called Famous Foods Street Eats. This is an indoor street of 16 stalls featuring cuisines from Southeast Asia as well as Western favorites. In total, it's 24,000 square feet, and the counters are just open for lunch as we walk through. In the center is a bar. And above the Sweet Eats counter is a 10-foot tall Lucky Cat sculpture made from gold medallions and coins. Paula and I have sampled some of the food stalls in Famous Foods, and the meals are delicious. And here's another first. Crossroads Kitchen, the first fully plant-based fine dining on the Strip. Paula visited Crossroads for their Sunday brunch. What a beautiful place! And down this hallway, you'll find the Resorts World Theater with seating for almost 5,000 and one of the largest stages on the Strip. It's 196 feet wide and 64 feet deep. The theater store across the way used to be themed for whatever residency was happening at the time, but now it's more of a typical hotel gift shop. All right, we have talked about and poked into everything in here except the hotels. We're going to do that right now. Resorts World has a 59-story hotel tower that houses more than 3,500 rooms, all bearing the Hilton brand. In fact, this is the largest Hilton hotel property in the world. We've just arrived at the lobby area for the Conrad with a room count of 1,496. We enjoyed a stay at the high-end Crockford's a couple years ago. There are just 332 Crockford's rooms. And isn't this lobby absolutely spectacular? The third offering is found a little further along down yet another hallway. And here is the last fine dining establishment we have yet to mention, the elegant Genting Palace. Of course, the cuisine is as exquisite as the entry. The lobby for the Las Vegas Hilton is this way. FYI, this is the most budget-friendly hotel on the property, and it has the most rooms at 1,678. One more thing to mention before we head out. The art program here is incredible. Make sure you notice some of these carefully selected art pieces. There was an extensive process to choose artworks that would surprise and delight the guests, and you know what? I think they've done that. This periodic table of Las Vegas, featuring 24 essential elements that make this city unique, is definitely our favorite.
All right, you guys, for a sciencey girl like me, that periodic table just hit me. I loved it. By the way, it's right on the right-hand side of the main doors. Check that out if you go in Resorts World.
Yeah, so what did you think about Resorts World? Oh my goodness. The one glaring thing that I saw when I was editing this, there was nobody there.
Yes, that was this Tuesday between 8:30 a.m. and about noon,
Yeah.
and we knew that you were all going to say, where are the people?
Now, I can say one thing, that they did book a lot of rooms in there because of the cement convention. And believe me, that is a big convention that's in town. And a lot of the folks, of course, were over there. But that still it was not very busy. And also, none of the restaurants were open yet either.
Yeah, it was morning. Well, Street Eats was open, but yeah, a lot of those restaurants, of course, are just dinner only. Yeah. It would be interesting to go back on a weekend afternoon or in the evening and check out kind of the size of the crowd at Resorts World.
Yeah, so what'd you think about the Loop?
I love the Loop. He'll never do it, but I would absolutely do it again. It was like an amusement park ride. I loved it. It was great. I'm really excited about what is happening underneath the streets of Las Vegas.
Yeah, eventually they're getting there. It's going to go all the way to the airport. It's not doing it yet. You can go to the airport in one of their cars above ground, but you can't come back from the airport to whatever hotel you were staying
Yeah,
in.
and I think the Virgin Hotel, that one's under construction, and I think Allegiant Stadium eventually. So, yeah, stay tuned. More on the Vegas Loop.
All right, and let me also say that doing the Dale's Tales makes me a nervous wreck, does it not?
He was so cute, though. I was behind the camera watching him. He was so animated telling those stories. I'm so glad he's sharing them with you.
I actually worried about it all week because it's very hard for me to talk about all this stuff.
It's hard for you to talk about yourself.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification button. Anything else you want to tell these nice people, Miss Paula?
I think not. We have kept you a long time. Happy Sunday. Have a great week, everybody.
Hope you had a good time. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.